finished watching a video in the tourist area explaining what happened here in Cypress Hills. Kind of gave you a brief overview. It said in the Cypress Hills region experienced some tremendous change throughout the 1860s to 1870s. Competition for resources increased as the buffalo herds diminished. Starvation and disease, compounded by the illegal whiskey trade, had a devastating effect on many First Nation groups. A violent event occurred, known as the Cypress Hills Massacre. It took place in 1873, 2.5 kilometers south of the current location of the fort. Right here is the fort right here that you're looking at. The event prompted the Dominion government to send law enforcement to the west sooner than planned. It says, did you know the Northwest Mounted Police marched west in 1874 and established Fort Walsh in 1875. Their presence put an end to the illegal whiskey trade and the lawlessness that was wreaking havoc in the hills. Sorry, the camera's shaking. So on June 1st, 1873, wolf hunters who had been on the trail of stolen horses attacked the camp of the Nakota, resulting in the massacre of the elders, warriors, women, and children. This hastened the dispatch of the Northwest Mounted Police and led to one of the first major tests of Canada's new law enforcement in the West. Although it did not result in convictions, the Mounties' efforts to bring the perpetrators to justice convinced First Nations of the imperiality of the force of the government it represented. The memory of the massacre and the fallen ancestors reinforced the connection between the Nakota and these lands they hold to be sacred. So they actually arrived 2 years after the massacre. So it wasn't just right, they arrived, it was actually 2 years after the event happened. Also speaking with some of the gentlemen that were down there, First Nation, who were actually from also the Carry the Kettle, they mentioned that in the past 4 years they're given the First Nation perspective of what happened. And they shared oral stories from the elders of what happened way back then. And they also mentioned that they're also bringing traditional events back to this area where they also pick traditional medicines.